Torrential rain floods San Marcos. The San Marcos River raging through the Texas State campus.
This is fine. It's not almost to the building or anything.
And flooding streets.
There's no reason they should have tried to go when they had a baby.
Tonight, the water is receding as the sky clears. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Rush.
And I'm Quita Culpepper. Pictures and video flooded Facebook and Twitter as the water rose in San Marcos.
Yeah, and while some of the students here dealt with the flooding in their dorm rooms, Texas State canceled afternoon classes. KVUE's Rebecca Trejo is on campus live. And Rebecca, things are getting a little bit back to normal right now.
Yeah, classes resumed about an hour ago after being canceled around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Bus service is back and things are getting back to normal. However, what is not normal is the San Marcos River right now. As you can see, it's swollen, dirty, and filled with debris, but it's within its banks. However, this morning here at Sewell Park, it was flooded with some structures covered with water. The university has not reported any damage here at the park. The university does report that across campus at Commons Hall, there was some flooding in the basement in the testing center. Students I spoke with were mostly frustrated that classes were canceled as they were trying to get to class. Freshman Miranda Suarez says there was about an inch of water inside her dorm at Butler Hall.
Somebody propped open one of the doors by the emergency exits, and because of that, a lot of the rain started coming in and it started soaking up on the ground, on the floor, and then started flooding a little bit, and it was really, really crazy.
Suarez says the university cleaned up this afternoon what was left of the flooding in her dorm. However, the university does ask you to take caution in and around the city around any low water crossings. Live in San Marcos, Rebecca Trejo, KVUE News.
The rising water was not just on campus. Several San Marcos streets are flooded. Our team coverage continues with KVUE's Michael Perchik.
Now, while it's no longer raining here, the effects of this afternoon showers continuing to affect drivers. As you take a look, that's Mitchell Street right there. Barriers on both sides of the road to try and prevent vehicles from driving down, and it unfortunately has not stopped them. City officials in San Marcos telling us they've already responded to more than a dozen high water rescue calls throughout the day. So we want to remind you, do not, under any circumstances, drive over standing water. Barriers are not suggestions. They're put up by city officials for a reason. We have seen a couple of downed trees in the Blanco Garden subdivision, but if you are driving anywhere throughout the city later this evening, make sure you do so safely. A couple of tidbits to pass along. The CART's bus service throughout the city will be canceled throughout the rest of the day, and GED and ESL classes at the San Marcos Public Library canceled throughout the rest of the week due to storm damage to their classroom. In San Marcos, I'm Michael Perchik, KVUE News.
The ATX floods map shows us where the flooding has impacted water crossings. You can see that several closed down in Hays County and across the line in Caldwell County. And please, if you come across water over the road, you've heard that saying, turn around, don't drown.
Fortunately, after all that rain, we're starting to dry out. Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon has what we're tracking.
Yep, right on time. This evening is going to be just fine. Just a 20% chance of rain. This is a look at max storm Doppler radar over the last 3 hours, and the last bit of rain has moved out. Now all south of I-10, impacting South Texas. Some of these thunderstorms near Laredo and Cotulla have turned severe, but again, that's all moving to the south of us as we begin to dry out. Pockets of 2, 3, 4, 5-inch rainfall totals over parts of the area. The highest total, though, south of San Marcos, a bullseye Doppler radar indicating over 7 inches of rainfall. A ground report with a weather station reporting 6 3/4 of an inch from earlier today. Minor flooding possible along the Blanco River at Wimberley. That's where we have a flood warning. It's going to go just above flood stage by midnight. Right now, well below flood stage. And also new into the storm center as of the top of the hour, a San Marcos River flood warning at Luling. Right now at about 5.5 feet. Expected to go slightly above flood stage by tomorrow morning, but only minor impacts are expected. Meanwhile, in Austin, only 1/10 of an inch at Bergstrom, 1/3 of an inch at Camp Mabry. We'll talk about rain chances for the rest of the week and for the upcoming weekend coming up.
Thanks, Albert. Overnight, the worst of the weather was to our north. This is video from Belton, just outside of the KVUE viewing area. Nolan Creek was badly flooded through town, and drivers got stuck on flooded streets. And a tornado even touched down in McClellan County. On Fort Hood, emergency crews have been looking for a person believed to have been swept away in a raging creek.
Now to the headline people just couldn't help but click on today, and who could blame them? This is from our partners at the Statesman. Condom clogged pipe leads to prostitution bust at massage parlor, Austin police say. Arrest documents for the owners of Jade Massage Therapy at 620 and Anderson Mill say that's exactly how the investigation got started. The property management company told police a waste disposal unit got clogged and destroyed by hundreds of condoms. Police went on to investigate. Juan Wang and Joseph Emery, including looking into their finances, conducting surveillance on the massage parlor and their home, and executing search warrants. Both are charged with engaging in organized criminal activity and money laundering.
The man leading a congressional investigation into allegations of Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election was in Central Texas today. Congressman Mike Conaway represents a large swath of West Texas from Midland all the way to Llano. Conaway was in Llano today for a town hall, and KVUE's Nicole Rosales caught up with him there. Nicole?
Yes, Llano was just one of 7 stops this week. Congressman Conaway says these old-fashioned town hall meetings are the best way to hear directly from the community. Now, dozens showed up to the Family Life Center at Ludi Watkins Memorial to express their concerns about issues close to them, from education funding to SNAP programs and work visas. But one of the biggest topics that came up more than once, the investigation into Russia's possible involvement with the 2016 presidential election. It was announced last week that Conaway would be replacing Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes on the case. Now, Conaway, who spent 6 years on the Ethics Committee previously, says he's up for the task.
Where you have to look your colleagues in the eye and say, you've done something wrong, and here's what we need to do to correct it, or here's what the consequences of doing that are. We've got important questions to answer. What did the Russians do or not do? What did the Trump campaign or post-election team do or not do? Those are important questions that we need answers for. Adam Schiff and I will create a bipartisan effort to find the facts.
Now, in addition, Conaway has spent 30+ years as a certified public accountant taking part in the investigative team. Now, during this meeting, community members did ask how long do they suspect the investigation will go on. Conaway says it's unknown. In the newsroom, Nicole Rosales, KVUE News.
Thanks, Nicole.